Hi, I'm Flo. This here's Eddie.
Hi, I'm Eddie.
Tonight, we have a very special guest right here.
A friend of ours who was originally booked to be hosting in this very area in which we sit. He would have walked on the wild side here. Instead, he's sitting and schlepping with Flo and Eddie. Lou Reed.
Right here. We will applaud and say hello. Hi.
Hi. It is really good to see you guys again.
Thank you, man.
It's something.
Peculiar circumstances.
Yeah.
We'll give you a little bit of a background on Lou was originally booked as a guest. That's right. Is that where it all started?
I was going to host.
Well, you were going to guest first?
No, originally I was going to guest, but then I made it to host.
And then they said, okay, here's what you do. Give us a tape of some of the songs you're going to perform on the show, right?
We were supposed to tape the thing, and before I got to L.A., we got in a discussion on the phone about what exactly, specifically, we were going to do. And aside from all the other things involved, then we got to me. And it came about that there would be a problem with lyrics in the songs.
So, but some of the songs you had sent in, I mean, the content, you know, was
deemed unacceptable.
Unacceptable, four-letter words, as well as not just the words.
I would have been one long continuous bleep.
Right there is a good place.
Who is your censor?
Who's the censor? Is it the public out there watching this show tonight?
Because it isn't Midnight Special. Midnight Special doesn't care. They want you to do your act, you know, to the fullest degree. All performers. This is the only place you can do it.
Except even they had a problem with the words. But
what does your mom think? I mean, here's her son, Lou.
She's very proud of me.
She should be.
You know, except she just wishes I would go back to school and, you know, get the lawyer's degree.
Well, when
you're through messing around.
When we were talking about Walk on the Wild Side and the fact that that song was a song that dealt with, you know, all different forms of sexuality.
At least one sexual act I can think of that comes to mind.
It's referred to drugs and suicide and
transsexuality, homosexuality. Well, you know what I'm saying.
I suppose for some,
it was a top 20 record, and yet it was edited all different ways.
Now the FCC took it upon themselves to take that record and cut it up.
This is where it's intriguing. It wasn't the FCC.
And it isn't in this case either.
And it isn't either. I mean, that is the crux of the problem that you're talking about, because what actually happened was that radio stations took it upon themselves to do this before the FCC would act upon them.
You could listen to this conversation and really think that in a lot of cases you were going after something obscene or off the wall just for the shock value of it. Right. And I know that's not the case with your stuff.
You do speak of the character Lou Reed, and so maybe you do interject that role into the Lou Reed character so that people will think.
Theater? What's the guy order at Denny's? I mean, is that the same guy?
He would eat at Denny's, I wouldn't.
Yeah. That's a different Lou Reed.
No, the thing is, Lou Reed character, as I see him, goes up to a certain point, and I disagree with a lot of, I mean, there are a lot of different Lou Reeds on the album. I mean, sometimes espousing a point of view that's contradictory, say, to the next track, where you're
doing conversations, you're doing real street talking, yeah.
Where it's, you know, they're contradictory. I mean, it can't all be the same person. People don't seem to realize that. But it's also, he has different, like I was telling you before, it's like, you know, I'd gotten this lighter. I thought, this is such a nice lighter. Okay. But he would probably use the gold. I would use the gold one. There's a gold version of this, gold-plated. It's not the heavy one, right? So we're not in that bracket yet. But this one is the one that he would wear, because with the black and the silver.
Sure.
And the thing is, I'm very aware of what he does and what he's up to. And we have meetings. No, but seriously.
But do you think of that when you write your lyrics, so that it does come off with maybe the shock value?
No,
and maybe...
I didn't think it was offensive. Every time I heard it, and it snuck up on me. I was doing something else, like you know. Doing push-ups, you know, and doing my normal meditation and exercise in the morning, like to recover from the night before, you know, which never ended. I hear it playing, and you know, I said, this is the funniest thing in the world. I fall down and I hear I Want to Be Black. I just think, wish I wrote that, but I did. And like, I wouldn't consciously, why would anybody want to shock somebody else? I mean, what is the kick in that? I mean, to sell records, well, obviously it doesn't have that effect. It keeps my record sales down, so unless I'm into some strange kind of aberrant masochism.
Well, all performers are, I think, to some degree. I mean, there's a certain tension that's inherent in the business and a certain amount of hassle.
It's like, you know, I just find it for convenience sake easier to like separate myself from the act, from the image, from the creation of the thing.
That's interesting. Now, we spoke with David Bowie.
Just to like, for other people's sake, sometimes like they'll talk to me as though I'm him, and it just makes it a lot easier, because sometimes I stop and I say, hey, wait a minute, look, you know.
You're speaking to the wrong guy.
You know,
yeah.
Really, you know, I don't want to get polysyllabic with you. I don't want to do an erudition trip on you and get into all kinds of hassles, but like you're talking to me, like, you know, don't confuse me with that, you know.
It's like speaking with David Bowie, and he had this character thing with Ziggy Stardust that he had to physically shake, whereas you seem to go, I'll acknowledge that character, and it's part of me, and I'll keep it here.
It's just one character. Like, David's operating through a number of them. I have various tangent manifestations of, say, the same character. Or it's like, you know, if you want to dig into the dark depths of your psyche, as some of my reviews come out, and dig out the tawdry, you know, bit of angst and derm that exists in some kind of Kierkegaardian existential metaphysical hassle that'll put you through a Pollyanna trip backwards, right? You say, oh, you know, but it makes it easier for them, makes it easier for me. We say, what would he do? It's like before I was saying to you, how does this look buttoned?
Would Lou
Did Lou Reed pull out of hosting the Midnight Special because it might be better from a standpoint of, say, press, or what was it, something that you really felt you couldn't come on and perform?
Yeah, where does the theater part stop?
No, see, because I'm very consistent, surprisingly enough, in certainly at least one respect, and that is I'm true to him. You know,
loyal.
I believe in him. I believe in what he does. You know, I believe in what I do, and I've always been that way. It's like, you know, it's one of the reasons I like myself, and that's that I'm faithful to it.
Flo and Eddie really want to thank you for joining us, and I know that
man, we bump into each other the strangest places.
It has always been my pleasure to run into you two guys. You know,
thank you.
It always has been. I was just thrilled to know that you guys were going to do this with me.
So it's not
just made me feel like.
Thank you very much. We're saying good night now.
Thank you.
So
good night from Flo Eddie and Lou.
Us and Lou. Lou, thanks.
Hey, my pleasure, man.
Really great. Thanks.
Great. Thank you.